So this is in regard to the practical application of your sermon. So, week after week, I personally preach there's no unity outside the truth. But what do we do with people that you know and I know who can articulate these doctrines well, better than most? But in the practical application of life, as we see these issues with CRT and intersectionality and LGBT and all this stuff, they can articulate it here, but they're going another direction here. At some point, I've been called a hater for a very long time now. The question is when, where is that line where we can say, how do we call this out? Because the truth is, very well as you come back to them and say, well, we're supposed to be believing this. Well, I do believe in this. Right. Maybe that's not a very direct question, but I hope you understand.
No, it is a direct question because we're, our Southern Baptist brothers and sisters will be facing this head on in a matter of weeks. A couple of years ago when I was at G3, we had a G3 pre-conference where myself and Bodie and Josh Bice and Tom Askell and Tom Buck and Michael Fallon were all addressing these things. And one of the things I said then was, I had just preached a sermon that basically said there is no redemption in the woke gospel. Because there isn't. You never have forgiveness. Sin's never done away with. You just keep rehashing those sins over and over again. And one ethnicity is in position of this to the another ethnicity, and there's never any basis for unity. So the emphasis, if I were to have someone say, I believe everything you said tonight, doctrinally, I agreed with the exegesis of John 6, I agreed with the exegesis of Romans chapter 8, but I also believe that the church should be doing this, and that we should be modifying our presentation based upon ethnicities and things like that. I'm going to press for consistency. Jesus intercedes for God's elect. Those are made up of men from every tribe, tongue, people, and nation. The basis of unity in the Christian church is the imputed righteousness of Christ and the shared fact that we all partake of the Holy Spirit of God. And it doesn't matter what your ethnicity is. And if you try to make that ethnicity definitional, then some of you have heard on the program I have coined a phrase, the Scythian test, in Colossians chapter 3. There's no Jew, there's no Greek, there's no bond, there's no free, there's no Scythian. That was an ethnicity. Those were warlike people. And yet they were in the church. If you introduce something into the church that creates divisions because you don't understand what the basis of the unity of the faith is, then you don't really believe consistently what you've just said. Your confession is different than your application. And so I'm going to press hard on something like that, which generally results in not being invited to a position of being able to do that again. But that's the best that you can do. And you try to be gracious, but you have to be firm. If you don't believe this, then stop telling people you believe it. So those of us that actually do believe it can go on our merry way.